Hello, hello, everybody. I'm a little behind today. It's been one of those days, but I'm just so excited to be here with you all today to talk about wealth frequency, clearing money blocks. We also have the School for the Gifted tonight for clairsentience. I'm really hoping that my internet stays connected. I think it will. There's been some new installations and some new things happening. So I'm super excited. Happening. I do want to ask you how you're all doing today. How are you all doing? How is your energy? How's your vibe? Happy Thursday, happy money day. There's actually a lot of energy flow. I was going to look at my notes really quickly to share with you all. I haven't been able to post the energy video because it just doesn't really want to post. But we are shifting from like a warrior type energy into sacred relationships. And on the 13th, like Pluto stations Aquarius. So there's going to be a lot of rekindling, a lot of gifts opening right now. I was literally seeing my hair person today, and they were talking about how they just have been having really vivid gifts. And as we talked about before, it's also October. The veil is really thin. So now is a perfect time to also work with your ancestors, light your candles, but also connect with your wealth frequency with your ancestors. Since we're talking about money blocks, one way to recognize in your own life if you have a money block is how you actually treat money. What is your relationship to money? Are you someone that tends to not be able to hold money very well? Or the way you speak about it is like you're not grateful for it, or you feel like it's always going to be running away from you, or you feel like everything is expensive, right? It's a very like victimhood, everything happens to me. I'm not quite taking accountability for myself and my money journey. Hi, how are you? How's it going? Feel free to say hello. Feel free to say hello. Where are you tuning in from? And also, where are you at on your money journey? You can also think about it as like maybe you're someone who wants to build a wealth frequency but doesn't actually know how to save money or what wealth looks like or if it's even attainable. On the last call with wealth, we talked about how even your emotional capacity and ability to visualize how much money you want in your life is going to limit the money that comes in, right? Because there's a difference between wanting to feel comfortable with money, and then there's another realm of what makes me excited about money, and then another realm of like I'm building generational wealth, which sometimes can also come after the stage of feeling happy. Hi, Chosen Big Dog. How are you? How are you? Uh, Aloha from Texas. How's it going? Jasmine, haven't seen you in a while. How's everybody's vibe today? Happy Thursday. Happy Money Day. Um, I I have so many thoughts about this and clearing money blocks. I've also been getting a lot of visions today. So if you see me kind of go blank, there's been a lot of shifts happening, which I'm excited to share about. But today and yesterday have just been a big day. So I really want you on your money journey to be unbiased about how you treat money. Is money actually showing up for you in your life? If not, why do you think that is? Do you feel like you are aligned with the frequency of money? Do you call in money? Do you treat money with respect, right? You have to build a relationship with money because money is energy. You have to build a capacity for money so that you can hold more money. You have to also deeply believe in your worth and your ability to create money or tap into the frequency and call it into your life. And since a lot of you are entrepreneurs, this is always an interesting journey when you're going to start your business. I teach a lot about this on Monday when we do magic to market, and I'm going over people's programs and pricing and things like that. There's always this moment of shock when, they realize that they're undercutting themselves, and they don't realize that they're worth so much more. But then there's this balance of also honoring where your capacity is at right now, because it's going to be a lot harder to go sell your packages or to go do a tarot reading if you don't even feel comfortable saying the number to charge, right? Because you're going to energetically block it. And also on the other live, we talked about what amount of money actually makes you happy, and sitting within that energy and working your way towards it, and ensuring that you're going to not just have a plan for yourself, but you're going to create space to give yourself grace when it doesn't always work out in the way you planned. Meaning, maybe you have, like myself, an unexpected move, or maybe you have an unexpected bill, or maybe socioeconomics affects how you are spending your money. Or maybe you have children and they have expenses, right? Like, you have to be able to go with the flow of money and know that every time you spend money, money is going to come back to you, but not forget about being the visionary when it comes to building your your wealth and your worth. It's a bit rough. I ended up homeless after returning to Texas, and I thought everything was going to fall into place over here. So I'm incredibly baffled by the circumstances. Jasmine, when you say homeless, are you in a shelter? I can't remember. Are you in a shelter? Hi, Elle. Now I'm having to get a regular job, and I thought I was supposed to be creating something. Sometimes that can happen. I've definitely had that happen. Okay, you're not in a shelter. So you're no longer homeless, right? I just want to make sure that you're safe. That's why I'm asking these questions. There's no availability at the shelters. Are you outside? That's a great reminder. Every time you spend money, it's going to come back to you. Absolutely. It's an investment. And, sometimes on my own journey, I had to always think about the times that I invested thousands and thousands of dollars in myself, and then thousands and thousands of dollars always came back to me. And I had to remind myself of that daily. And even if you're in the stage where sometimes you're not spending thousands of dollars, right? Like, after I was actually, houseless and, trying to get my money together, it was like dollar to dollar. Like, that's the life that I was also living, but I knew that I could get myself out of that frequency, but I had to be smart about my budget, but I also needed to connect with the parts of me and wonder how I got here most nights. Are you in Houston? I'm going through it right now with more spiritual awakening steps, and I had a kind of negative experience this morning. I'd like to hear your take on it, but didn't ask it as a question for class tonight. Negative. Um, I hawked my jewelry to have a hotel for a few nights. Are you staying at like a regular hotel or like at an extended stay? I used to stay at extended stays. I don't know if they have them there. Because I had this happen after I enrolled, so I'm journaling about it also. Good, Elle. Hold on, Elle, 1 second. New reference between Austin SA Super 8. Okay, hold on. Jasmine, have you tried calling 211? I'm assuming, do you have service? I mean, you're on live right now, but it could just be internet. Never heard of that. Call 211. I'm going to type in the chat. Call 211. It's a number for like immediate housing assistance. If you're in a hotel, I would use the hotel phone and see what they can do for you, and just be as honest as possible and tell them exactly where you're located. Okay. Happy to help. I know that I don't know how you feel about churches, but some churches will also help depending on the church. So push comes to shove, you might be able to actually go to a church and ask them for resources as well. Okay, good. Yeah. And even if, I mean, most churches will help, especially if they're like maybe even Christian type churches. You can also ask them for meals if you need meals. And I would also look up like soup kitchens or anything like that or in your area or near you if you can. It might even be worth too at the Super 8 because I'm sure they probably get a good amount of people coming in and out. I would ask them for resources as well if possible because you never know what they might say. Or you can also ask them like if they're hiring and things like that because you might be able to like do some sort of work at the front desk or something like that to be able to stay in a room while you get on your feet. And if that doesn't work, you can see if there's other like places around there that are willing to do that for you. But definitely start with 211 and then keep going. Churches are definitely going to help you. Soup kitchens are going to help you. And even if the church doesn't want to help you right away, you can ask them if they know where people bring their donations and stuff like that. Food wise, they'll be able to help. Good. Very helpful. Okay, good. I'm glad this is helpful. I hope that helps, Jasmine. I wish you luck and hope it goes well for you. Yeah, definitely come here anytime if you need help so you can have a space to talk. And I'm happy to give more ideas. I'm not as familiar with that area, but I would definitely do that. It also says, I was just looking up something else. There's also a group called Family Promise that looks like it's local to that area. That might be a good resource too. I'll write it in the chat in case my internet goes funky. Okay, I'm going back to you, Ella. Just wanted to make sure you can service people first. Like a dream experience, but it felt I was in between sleep and awake. If this makes sense, maybe hallucination, telepathy with a visitor. I felt and heard like it was all real. Ah, okay. Someone is looking for me or wants to find me was the message I got. They were trying to seduce me too, but my eyes were closed the whole time. I used no, unimagined white light to wake up. Were you sleeping on your back? Just curious if you were or not. Um, okay, good. Yeah, we're here for you, Jasmine, to make sure you're not alone. Is there anybody else with you? I didn't ask. Um, so you moved from, I'm reading back your messages. Mm. Jasmine, were you in one of these, the Z School for the Gifted, or am I thinking of somebody else? Because you were in, I don't know if it's the same person. You were in Hawaii, maybe? Hmm. I might have been, I think it was hot also. Yeah, Elle, try not to sleep on your back, especially right now in October. Sometimes it'll give you a sleep paralysis. And so your energy will be more open to other messages and entities. So always make sure you sleep on your side. Yeah. So usually you're a side sleeper. Yeah. You probably just fell asleep on your back on accident or got stuck in that position. I was on a healing spiritual journey. Ah, yes. Okay. I remember you. I remember you. Um, Sometimes that will happen on a spiritual journey. Everything gets taken away depending on what you ask for. Um, when you were in Hawaii, were you giving back to the land? Just curious if you were giving back to the land, or how were you giving back to the community in Maui? Sort of. What does that mean? What do you mean, sort of? But for everybody, there's going to be phases on your spiritual journey where um, you will have things taken away because you need to learn not to live a life filled with ego. Um, and so sometimes the universe will do that. I've seen it happen time and time again. It happened to me too until I learned my lesson. But I asked for it. I literally said, destroy my ego. But also it can be circumstances if like deities, spirit, other folks on the other side are trying to teach you a lesson and you weren't receiving it. Sometimes they do that to get your attention or they let things hit you to wake you up. That's why I'm asking about the land. Because like the octopus is very strong. I was picking up trash and visiting with homeless, providing meals and cash when I could. Okay. And so you moved, you got the inkling or like request to move to Texas. I think you have to keep going on your journey. So, one of my spiritual journeys, um, mine was a little bit different because I had someone who was siphoning from me, but I had to learn a severe spiritual lesson, an ego lesson, before they would like metaphorically like take their foot off my neck. And I was hopping around to place to place to place, not knowing where to go, um, that sort of stuff. And I had to make a decision. And usually it's you end up in some sort of healing container that has to do with people that you don't necessarily want to be with. I thought I was supposed to come back here for my daughter, but she has kind of pushed me away. Ah, where's your family? You probably are supposed to be back. Just because it feels hard doesn't mean you're not supposed to be there. Were you receiving money at all when you were in Maui? Like, how was your frequency with money? I need to plug in my computer. My chocolate's melted. Hold on. What is happening with my computer? I had to get some water. I have none. Sometimes that's the lesson. They started calling me crazy when I started on my journey. My ex-husband was funding everything. We were in the middle of a divorce. When the divorce finalized in August, we parted ways. Ah, okay. Sometimes that's the lesson. The lesson is literally, how did you get here? You have to heal I mean, we're literally on money blocks, but you have to heal your money wound. And the other lesson is, spirituality is a gift, but there's also a balance. When you are too far into the ethereal without a tangible plan, that happens, right? The giving things away, but not having a plan because you're trusting, but also your gifts are opening at the same time. So like you're getting all these visions and all these things, right? But there still has to be caution. And so when I was on my journey, and it was actually with someone I knew, I had decided it was a smart idea to trust someone, not just with my business, but to trust someone to help and provide and do all those things without trusting my own worth and also asking questions and like figuring things out for myself. It was like another form of victimhood, of helplessness, of like leaning in and expecting someone to save me in a way when I needed to save myself. And so when I was on that journey, I saw them change into someone who at the end of it, they didn't have money. And thank God I had felt the energy coming, and my ancestors and deities stepped in. But so, Jasmine, for you, do everything you can to reach out to the resources I gave you tonight. And also, as a spiritual person on this journey from Maui, look at the lessons that you need to learn on this journey, right? Like, how did you get here? Not just, oh, I did this and X, Y, and Z. Emotionally, how did you get here? Because there's also a lens of like, how did I let myself get here? How did I let myself get to the point where I didn't have money and I didn't do anything about it? And there's no shame, no nothing. It's just, it's a lesson sometimes. Right? And sometimes the lesson is learning how to pull ourselves out of the shit that we put ourselves in. Hi, how are you? How's it going? So great to meet you. Where are you tuning in from? Yeah, happy to help. Happy to help. I know it's probably not the best lesson, but it definitely happens. I've seen it over and over and over again. Right? Like, and it's important for everybody on this call to understand that this is why we need to do our generational healing as a collective. Because there's also a lot of light workers and healers and folks like you and myself, you know, we can't help people if we do not help ourselves. We can't invest in our business, we can't grow our businesses, we can't be visible, we can't do any of those things. We can't always feel joy if we don't take care of ourselves first. And so I was the type of person to also give everything, including the last shirt off my back, and I would walk around naked and probably give my life. I went through that phase, but there was a reason why I was like that. And in some spiritual communities, you know, some people are like, oh, like I have monk energy. Yeah, sure, you do, but also you have money wounds. You have money wounds that need to heal. And there's a reason why sometimes people will create instability instead of creating stability, because they have become so used to chaos, or they literally have no idea what stability looks like, that they just create instability naturally. They manifest that into their finances because that's the frequency that they hold. Right? Like, our finances are a direct reflection of who we are as people. So when we thrive, our money thrives. When our money is not thriving, we are not thriving. And it has nothing really to do with the universe, other than the universe will help to like correct our ego. But it's all energy. And generational healing is energy too. That's why we do it with our ancestors. How are the rest of you doing with your money frequency? And don't forget, tonight, Z School for the Gifted, we're going over clairsentience part 2. I tend to spend more than I have. I learned to stop and block the ones always asking, etc. When I need help, no one is there. So I stopped and put me first. Beautiful. Beautiful. I'm so proud of you for that. That is not an easy shift to make. Yeah, spending outside of your means, definitely a generational wound, right? Unable to hold on to money. There were times when I had the same thing. That was actually happening with the person that I was traveling with. And then there's like the balance, right? Of, you know, people are like, well, I spend the money and then it doesn't come back to me. It's like, well, you spend it with chaos, and money ain't chaos. and you have no foundation of stability. So how is money going to flow back to you? You know what I mean? So it's like we really have to be conscious about what we are doing day to day with our finances, building wealth. And it's I love that you know got rid of the ones who were asking of things from you. I had to do the same. I had to literally, where is that coming from? I can't even close it. I had to literally sit there and, listen to people tell me like when they didn't have something. And I knew in those moments it was a test. I fucking knew it. Because I also pulled cards and I also like sought other spiritual help, like all these things, because it was so deeply ingrained in me because of how I was raised that I had to give everything away in order to earn love, which was why I couldn't hold money. That I was like, I felt like an addict. I was like, I just want to give them the money. I want to help them. And it's like, no, you're not helping. You're not actually helping. And that money is not for them. And your ancestors will literally step in and stop you from doing that stuff. Thank you. It's a hard pill to swallow, but my peace comes first. Absolutely. Your peace should always come first. I'm not sure, to be honest. I asked my AI to help me budget the money I currently have. I feel fatigued with it. And at the same time, I'm being mindful and just resting. Yeah, it's easy to feel fatigue, especially right now in October. There's a lot of shifts and there's a lot of changes. What everybody has to be able to do is see why you feel fatigued and if you're actually enabling a behavior that's making you feel fatigued. And if your brain is like overworking on anxiety. I do have to go in a minute. I have a virtual event because I made it through a contest. This has been triggering me, but in the ways that are helping me, like to budget and all. I'm not letting others projections affect me before I'm choosing what I want. Stable and grounded. Absolutely, you're gonna be triggered. It's money. You're gonna be triggered. When I was younger, I freaking loved money. I didn't even think about getting triggered or like all this stuff until I got older. And then I was like, what the hell is little me was like, I always had money for some reason, even as a young kid. But then as I got older, I was like traumatized and didn't know how to hold it. I mean, now I'm back to little Z, but it's every day is like a lesson that we have to go through. Thank you, everyone. Absolutely. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad this energy found you. I'm getting used to being the authority of my life. Nailed it. I love that. Still too. Yeah. Being the authority in your life is the best thing that you can do in so many aspects. So many aspects. Your money is going to grow. Your friendships are going to change. Your love life is going to change. Your business is just going to fucking take off. Like it just becomes the best thing. Like no one can stop you. I walk down that street and I'm like, Z has arrived. That's the authority, right? L has arrived. Jasmine has arrived. TG has arrived. All these things. Much love, Jasmine. Hope it works out for you. Yeah. Hey, Z, gotta watch the replay. I'm driving with the babies. Oh, just want to go to this call then. Okay, everybody, I'm gonna head out. I need to go to a virtual event for my writing, and I will see you tonight. See you soon. See ya over the moon. Please take care of each other, love each other, work on your finances, clear your money box, ask the hard questions, and do the hard thing so you can have a happier life. Okay? You deserve it. Everybody's talking about babies today. I love it so much. We love you too. We love you too. Goodbye, everybody.